Mr. Speaker, in 1999, again in 2003, and again in 2007, all during election campaigns, this Premier and this Minister of Justice promised safer communities. So far this year, there have been 25 recorded homicides in the city of Winnipeg. So I ask the Minister of Justice, when will he deliver on his election promise to make safer communities in Manitoba?
The Honourable Attorney General.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I said in my comments yesterday during my talking about the Witness Protection Program, Mr. Speaker, that we have put in place probably the most robust provincial program in the country with respect to safer communities, with respect to fortified buildings. We've increased by 160 number of police officers in the street and doubled our prosecutions unit. To the extent that the province can, Mr. Speaker, we're seen as being in the forefront, Mr. Speaker. And in addition, the federal government actually called this province to Ottawa to stand beside the federal Minister of Justice on toughening up the criminal code on offences. We led in asking for that. The federal government's delivering that, and we stood by side with them on that, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Lac-du-Bonny.
Mr. Speaker, 3 election promises made and not a single election promise kept. In 4 of the last 7 years, this NDP government has managed to make Winnipeg the murder capital of Canada with as few as 17 homicides. And today, with almost a month left in 2007, there's 25 recorded homicides in the city of Winnipeg. So I ask the Minister of Justice, is he satisfied that Winnipeg will likely again be the murder capital of Canada?
The Honourable Attorney General.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 2 weeks ago, I had a discussion with the Minister of Justice in Alberta about Edmonton being the murder capital of Canada and how unfortunate that was. And we talked about the Alberta task force that had 29 recommendations, of which, Mr. Speaker, I know members opposite think this is only politics, but this is dealing with people's lives. You know, Mr. Speaker, of the 29 recommendations the Alberta Task Force had, Manitoba had done over 20 of them already. And we discussed with Ron Stevens how Alberta could implement some of their recommendations along the lines that we had already done in Manitoba in order to deal with a very serious outbreak of homicides in Edmonton. It's not something, Mr. Speaker, we're proud of, but we're working on, Mr. Speaker.